Hello there, and welcome to the reintroduction of you. Whether it's your first time or you're returning, I just want to thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me today. Today, I am actually going to review another fragrance, and it is Jo Malone's Ginger Biscuit. Now, I will be honest with you, I have smelled lots and lots of Jo Malone fragrances, and honestly, I have never really been into the Jo Malone DNA. So Jo Malone Ginger Biscuit actually came out in, I believe, 2023. I'll put some information on the screen, but I believe it was 2023. It was a limited edition release, and then it didn't restock because it was limited edition. So I had heard about it, but since I wasn't really into Jo Malone, I tried so many of them and just was like, this just really isn't me. I didn't really blink twice at it, but it was re-released this year. And I said, you know what? Let me just sniff on this because I had heard all of these rave reviews from people who have what I believe is similar tastes to mine. And so I said, you know what? Let me sniff on this. Let me try it out, see what it's like, and, make that decision because, it never really hurts to try. And so I went into the store, Sephora, in fact, and I smelled Ginger Biscuit. And immediately when I smelled it, when I sprayed it on my skin, because again, I try to avoid the testing paper strips and I try to actually put it on my skin so I can know how it smells in terms of how it's going to mix with my own body chemistry. And the first thing that hit me was Thai food. And so I was like, okay. And I sprayed it. My daughter was with me at the time and we both were like, we don't know about this. But about 45 minutes later, I smelled my arm again and I was absolutely in love with how it dried down. For me, this was actually very surprising because of the notes. And this is why it's important there are some notes that I know that I just cannot fool with. For me, oud is one of those notes that I just cannot fool with. I've tried so many oud fragrances and it's just something. And rose is another one that I just do not like. I just do not like how it hits for me. But there are other times when, depending on how it's done, how it's blended, sometimes notes that may not hit really well in one fragrance may smell good in another one. And this was one of those fragrances. Ginger Biscuit can be kind of hard to come by now. So because I didn't really know if I was going to love it, even after, spraying it in the store and getting the dry down, I said, I don't know that I want to commit to a whole bottle of this. So I went ahead and I got it decanted. So this is a fragrance that I will just be really honest with you, gives me very strong holiday vibes. Like, there are some fragrances that put you in the mind of a beach, other fragrances that put you in mind of like a garden. This one to me is very much holiday, which makes sense why they put it out just recently right at the holiday. So on the Jo Malone site, the top note is ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And I just sprayed it on my arm, and very much so you're getting all of that sweet spiciness that reminds you again of like a yellow curry, or even like a gingerbread cookie, like a fresh baked gingerbread cookie, which makes sense because it has the ginger, the cinnamon, and the nutmeg. So it's sweet and it's punchy, and it in my opinion can be a little overbearing because it's just so there, like it's slapping you in the face. But the thing about it is it's just the opening, and it will die down, past that very punchiness within about 10-15 minutes of being on your skin or on your clothes. The middle note is caramel and hazelnut, and I get caramel. Now, caramel is another note for me that can be a little problematic, but this caramel is done really mellowed, really well. It's sweet, it's there, but it's a lot more mellow than many of the caramel notes, I'm sorry, that I have actually smelled in the past. So this one actually, it's really interesting because it just moves. It's not like it's just the top note and then all you get is the middle note and then all you get is the dry down. It moves very seamlessly from the top to the mid and into the dry down. And honestly, once that ginger, the cinnamon, and nutmeg, and then the caramel and the hazelnut all move in together, it's quite nice. So then you get to the dry down, and the dry down has the vanilla and the tonka, which are very sweet, creamy type notes. And to me, it just works really well. You still get a little hint of that ginger that was in the opening. You still get a little hint of that nutmeg that was in the opening. And you get little hints of the caramel and the hazelnut that was in the mid. But the tonka and the vanilla really, really shine through in the dry down, which I think is one of the reasons why it is that I really am attracted to it, even though in the opening it was punchy. Once it mellows out and it's just these beautiful hints of these other notes, but then the creaminess of the vanilla and the tonka that really stays around for the long haul. That is why it is that I really just love this fragrance so much. This is not a fragrance for me that I would invest in a full bottle of. I just wouldn't, because again, it just puts me in the mind of the holidays. And so holiday party, going out around the winter time when you're all cozy and cute and by the fireplace, that is when this will hit. I would not wear this in the spring. I would not wear this in the summer. And I'm a firm believer of wearing your fragrances when you want to wear them. If you want to wear that heavy fragrance in the summer, then by all means do that if that's going to make you happy. I wear my fragrances when I want to, but I know for me, this is not one that I would really pull for in the spring, summertime, because it just, in my mind, puts me in the thought process or the mindset of the holiday season. So for me, I wouldn't invest in a full bottle, but am so happy that I invested. Sorry, I keep pulling the mic away. I'm so happy that I actually invested in the travel size, because I could see myself going through maybe half the travel size this season, half the travel size next season, without having to buy the 1.7 for $200 or whatever it is, and just have it sitting there for years and years and years. I like having fragrances that I'm going to keep around, but for a long time that I know I'm going to wear year after year after year. I don't mind that. But the fragrances that I invest in full bottles of are the ones that I know that I'm going to wear more than just a few months out of the year. And this is one that I think I would probably only do, October through December. It's not something, and even then, just a special occasion. I wouldn't wear this to work. I wouldn't wear this. I wouldn't even wear this to church. So for me, the decant or even a sample size is enough. The travel size, I meant to say, is enough. I don't think that this is one that I would actually invest in, because I think it would take me probably 15 years to get through a full 1.7. And yeah, I can spend my money on other things. But anyway, if you were interested in Jo Malone's Ginger Biscuit, I would encourage you to try it. It really is a beautiful fragrance. Try it. If that opening is a little too much for you, just give it some time. The dry down may actually surprise you at how beautiful and just cozy and inviting and, sassy that it is. Just maybe hold out and, reserve your judgment for the dry down, because the dry down is what lasts the longest. The dry down is what you're going to continue to experience for hours and hours and hours. Not the opening, not the mid, but the dry down. So just give it a chance. Anyway, I hope you found this information interesting and even helpful. If you have any comments, suggestions, or you just want to say hello, to do it below. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.